How do I find the time to work out? Can I eat carbs? Why is weight loss so much harder for moms over 30? Will weightlifting make me look bulky? If you've asked any of these questions, you're not alone. I hear them every single day from moms just like you. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to be breaking it all down, the 8 most common weight loss questions that I get. And I'm going to give you no fluff, no vague advice, just answers that you can actually use and start implementing today. Because the truth is there's so much conflicting advice out there, so much conflicting information. One expert says slash carbs and go keto. One expert says carbs are fine and that they help lower cortisol. Another one says to do cardio. Another one says weight lift. It's exhausting trying to figure out what's actually true out there and what's going to work for you and your body. Hi, I'm Colleen Hykins. I'm a personal trainer and nutrition coach with over 14 years of experience. I've helped hundreds of clients answer these exact questions that they come up with over and over again, whether it's on a coaching call, a DM, or in my community. I'm going to rapid fire through 8 of the most common questions that I hear with clear actionable advice that you can take from today. Stick around though for question number 6 because it's the one most moms get completely wrong. So question number 1, how do I find the time to work out? Well, this is my favorite one. You don't need to find an hour. Before kids, I would literally work out for 45 to 60 minutes. Now, all I do is protect 20 minutes a day. And that's what my most successful clients are doing inside my program. So protect 20 minutes a day. This is the number one question that I get. And I understand why, because between kids, work, meals, and everything else, there's really not a lot of time left for you and your weight loss goals at the end of the day. But here's the truth. You don't need an hour. You don't need 45 minutes. You just need 20 minutes of structured workout time. I do that 3 times a week. So that's really only 1 hour. The problem isn't that you don't have time. It's that you haven't protected the right amount of time. 20 minutes exists in your day. It's hiding in the time that you scroll. It's hiding in the Netflix time. It's hiding in the waiting for your kids time. You just need to claim it. Like actually log it in your calendar and claim it. And here's what no one tells you. My busiest clients are often my most consistent. Why? Well, because they've accepted that 20 minutes is enough. I literally hear from moms all the time. They're like, wow, I was actually really surprised by that 20-minute workout. I'm like, yeah. Like I've been a personal trainer for a long time. I know how to structure a workout that's going to fit you and your goals. They stop waiting for the perfect hour to magically appear and start using the imperfect window instead. Early morning before the kids wake up, maybe it's during nap time. Another strategy that I've heard is that mom will put their kids to bed and they'll go to their bedroom and do the workout there because their kids are like, oh, cool, she's on the same level as me. They feel safe enough to go to sleep. And then that's that 20 minutes that she's like waiting for them to go to sleep and still somewhat supporting them in just in the other room. Perfect. This week, look at your schedule and find 3 20-minute windows. That's all you need. Put them in your calendar like appointments that you don't cancel. Because if it's not scheduled, it will get lost in all the other appointments that you're doing. But working out isn't the only part of it. Let's actually talk about food. And another question I get all the time is, can I still eat carbs? Well, yes, I actually have my grilled cheese right here that my husband brought for me because I have been working and filming so much. Carbs are not the enemy. It's the type, it's the timing, it's what you're pairing them with that matters the most. I hated diet culture that made carbs the villain. Carbs give you energy. They fuel your workouts. They make food enjoyable. The problem isn't the carb. It's eating carbs alone without fiber or protein, which spike your blood sugar and leads to crashes and cravings. When you pair carbs with protein and produce, blood sugar stays stable and your body handles them really, really well. I'm sorry, but don't tell mom to not do their easy pasta night dinner or not order pizza as their takeout option because those are really, really easy options that make mom life a lot easier. We just need to pair them appropriately so your weight loss goals are still hit. Here's what I tell my clients. I eat carbs every single day, and so do my clients who are losing weight consistently. The difference is they're not eating a whole bowl of plain pasta and calling it dinner. We're adding grilled chicken, a big serving of vegetables, and maybe some olive oil, some pasta. That's a completely different metabolic response. Stop fearing carbs and start pairing them. And every time you have a carb-heavy food, ask yourself, where's the protein? Where's the produce? And add those in and you're good. Now, what about the question I hear probably the most than any other is, why is weight loss suddenly harder after 30? Because your hormones have changed. I've talked about this in other videos, but you've been using tools designed for a 20-year-old body who isn't as sensitive to stress and underfueling. In your 20s, your hormones were optimized for reproduction. Your metabolism was running hot. You could cut calories and add cardio and see results pretty quickly. I mean, I remember I could live off salads and add a few treadmill sessions in, and I would be beach body ready in like 2 weeks. It was Amazing. But after 30, and especially after kids, everything shifts. Cortisol's higher. We're more sensitive to stress. Insulin sensitivity changes. You start to lose muscle mass about 3 to 8% per decade. Your metabolism slows. And those strategies that worked before are now backfiring. Cutting calories spikes cortisol too much. Cardio can spike cortisol. Your body holds on to fat because it thinks it's in danger. It's not that weight loss is impossible. It's just that you need a different approach. And this is what I wish someone had told me years ago. I lived this myself. I was a trainer who couldn't lose her own baby weight using all the methods I had tried from my 20s. It wasn't until I understood that there was a hormonal and metabolic shift that I had to figure out before anything started working. I started supporting my metabolism instead of starving it. I started building muscle instead of burning it off with cardio, and I lowered my cortisol instead of spiking it. That's the formula after 30. If you've been trying to do the same things as before in terms of the dietary approaches from your 20s and you're still feeling frustrated or stuck, stop. Your body has changed. Your approach needs to change too. And speaking of muscle, here's another question I get a lot, and it's a valid fear from a lot of women. Will lifting weights make me bulky? No, building bulky muscle as a woman requires years, I'm talking years of dedicated effort with nutrition, recovery, and strength training protocols, and often pharmaceutical help. It won't happen by accident. It won't happen while you're barely getting the time to put workouts in between managing emotions, managing meals, managing your career, and all that. Your lifestyle will never allow you to become bulky. So lift heavy weights. Don't be scared. This fear also keeps a lot of women stuck on the treadmill, but there's a biological reality is that women don't have the testosterone that is required to build a big and bulky muscles. The female bodybuilders you see on stage have been training for years, sometimes decades, specifically for that size. Many use performance-enhancing drugs, and that's not going to happen from you lifting dumbbells, heavy dumbbells, 20 minutes, 3 times per week. What will happen, though, is that you will build a lean, defined muscles that your arms look toned, your legs look athletic, and your belly will flatten as your core strengthens. That's the result of strength training for women. But here's what no one tells you is that the women I work with who are afraid of lifting weights are now the biggest advocates for them. They've watched their bodies transformed in ways that cardio would never be able to achieve for them. They're more defined, they're not bulky, and they feel stronger than they have in years. And that brings on a certain sense of capability, certain sense of confidence. You're standing taller. You are proud of the body that you are building. So give yourself permission to move those 5-pound plates, 5-pound dumbbells out of the way and grab some 15, grab some 20s. I promise it will not make you bulky. It will just give you that lean, light toned look that you're really after. But this is where the transformation really begins. Now, let's talk about what happens when exercise causes pain. But first, if these answers are helping you, I would love if you would hit the subscribe button. I post videos like this all the time, week after week, on how moms can lose weight without diets or burnout. But let's keep going. The question number 5 I have is, what if I have knee or back pain during workouts? Pain is information, okay? You don't push through it, you just modify around it. And it's something that I help my clients with all the time. If something hurts, your body is telling you that something is off. Maybe it's your form, maybe it's a mobility restriction. Maybe it's an old injury flaring up, but the answer is never to just push through. That leads to real damage. And the answer is to modify. If you can't do regular squats, could you shorten the range of motion a little bit or doing a hinge position instead? Do lunges hurt your knees? Try reverse lunges instead, which target a bit more glutes, or step ups. Don't go forward lunge, don't go in front. That can really take some pressure off the knees. Or maybe you're doing glute bridges off the floor instead. Check your form, reduce the weight, and just try modifying a little bit and help building that foundation first. Here's what I tell my clients. I actually just helped a client with it just a couple days ago. She is very tight in the front side of her body. She holds a lot of stress in her shoulders, and push exercises maybe aren't the best option for her. Overhead pressing doesn't even happen in my program until week 8. Pushing is probably not the best option for her. She really needs to focus on building her back muscles. So we've modified it. Because she has chronic pain, we're not saying, oh, you can't do that. We're just modifying it. And we're actually probably going to get her out of that chronic pain just by making these slight adjustments. We adjust, we find movements that work for their body, and we build strength. If a movement causes pain, find a modification or a different exercise that targets the same muscles without the discomfort. Never sacrifice your joints for a workout. There's always another way. Now, here is the question that trips almost everyone up. How much protein do I actually need? More than probably what you're eating, okay? I aim for 25 to 30 grams. I tell my clients to do the same. Start and with every meal, but starting with breakfast. That's about a palm size portion of protein. Most moms drastically undereat protein because what they're doing is they're skipping breakfast, they're grazing all day, and then when they do eat, they're reaching for starchy carbohydrate type foods. We're looking for that fast energy. Maybe they're grabbing a granola bar for breakfast, a salad for lunch, and then trying to get all their protein in at dinner, but that doesn't work. Your body can only use so much protein at once. Aim for 25 to 30 grams at each meal. That's roughly, like I said, a palm size of portion of meat, fish, but watch for eggs because 2 eggs only gives you 14 grams. So you need to add another half cup of egg whites or add a lean meat source to that as well. You could do a cup of Greek yogurt with some protein powder in it, or a smoothie with a cup of protein powder in it. But when I get clients to actually hit their protein goals, everything shifts because they're less hungry, because their meals are actually satiating them. They're actually satisfied. They have fewer cravings. Their energy stabilizes and their muscles start to recover and grow. Protein is the single most important macronutrient for moms trying to lose weight and build strength. And most of us aren't nearly getting enough. So do me a favor and track your protein over the next 3 days. Not calories, not macros, just protein. Look at your plate. How much are you having? Is it about a palm-sized portion at every single meal? So breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if it's not, fix that first. But what about the things that you don't want to give up? Can I lose weight without giving up wine or treats? And the simple answer is yes, girlfriend, you can. The goal is a lifestyle that you can maintain forever, not a prison sentence. If you are going into a diet that you are not going to be able to maintain long term, you won't be able to sustain the weight loss long term. So you got that PDF meal plan, great, you grabbed it. Can you eat like that for the rest of your life? Okay, great. You're tracking your macros in there. Do you actually understand the learning process behind that? Can you build a meal outside of that? Okay, you're counting your calories. Are you actually cueing in to your fullness cues, to your hunger cues? Are you actually understanding what your body is requiring, what your body is needing? Because life is meant to be enjoyed. Ice cream nights with your kids should never be turned down because you're on a diet. Pizza Fridays are a normal thing in my household. It is actually Friday today at filming this. So yes, we'll be getting pizza tonight. I just modify. I don't make it the star of the show. It's now a side dish and I still focus on protein and fiber. The key is balance, not elimination. When your foundation is solid, meaning you're eating enough protein and produce at most meals, strength training consistently, and managing your stress and protecting your sleep, there's absolutely room for wine night with your girlfriends, for pizza nights with your kids, for ice cream with your kids. The problem is when treats become the foundation instead of the exception. My comments might be lighten up, but she's telling us to eat this. That's not what I'm saying. Get your foundation right, and treats are for sure can live in your weight loss journey. And here's what diet culture gets wrong. My most successful clients are not the ones who never indulge. They're the ones who enjoy food without guilt and get right back to their baseline the next meal. No drama, no starting over every Monday, no shame spiral. They have wine with their girlfriends. I would argue that a night out with your girlfriends and some wine is probably better for your health than restricting wine altogether. They have the dessert and they lose weight anyways because their overall pattern is solid. So stop thinking in terms of this all or nothing or allowed or not allowed. Get a strong foundation 80% of the time and enjoy life the other 20%. That's sustainable. That's something you can keep up with long term. It's freedom. That's what actually works. And finally, the question everyone wants to know is how long until I see results? Truth is, the timeline is about you'll feel different in 2 weeks. You'll see changes in 6 to 8 weeks, and other people will start to notice in 12 weeks. This is the honest timeline when you're doing it right. When you're leaning into the foundations 80% of the time and 20% of the time, you're indulging a little bit more. In the first few weeks, your energy will shift. You will sleep better. Your cravings will calm down. You'll feel less bloated. These are metabolic changes. They are not happening randomly. They are happening because you are putting in the effort to reset your metabolism and support your body with true nourishment. By week 6 to 8, you're going to start seeing physical changes. Your clothes are going to start to fit differently. Maybe your husband is going to be like, whoa, girl, what are you doing? Or your friends at work are going to start to ask what diet you're currently on. Your face is going to look less puffy because we've started to really lessen the inflammation quite drastically. You're going to start to notice definition in your arms. And by week 12, that's where people really start to compliment you. They really start commenting. They see a difference. That's when the external transformation catches up with what you've been feeling internally. And here's what I need you to understand. The moms who get frustrated and quit usually do so around 3 and 4, right before the visual changes would have started. They feel better, but they don't see it yet. So they think it's not working, but it is. The internal changes always come first. You have to trust the process long enough to see it through. And I actually have a document inside my program where I get them to acknowledge how they know it's working before the scale ever moves, before they're ever reaching for those pound sizes, because we need consistency. We need to stay in the game long enough to be able to see those results. Commit to 12 weeks today, not 2 weeks, not 30 days, 12 full weeks of consistent action. That's the minimum effective dose for real weight loss, real transformation. Take photos on day 1, measure once a month, and trust that the changes are happening when you can't see them. And here's what I want you to walk away with. Here's my final thought. Every question you've been asking, every doubt you've had, my dog is getting a little antsy. Every fear that's been holding you back, thousands of other moms have felt the exact same. I have. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're just looking for answers in a world full of noise. And I hope these questions have given you the answers that you've needed to bring you clarity, which will also bring you results. Now you know carbs aren't the enemy. You know why it's harder to lose weight after 30 and what to do about it instead. You know that weights won't make you bulky, and you know how to work around pain, how to modify so that you can stay in the game. That is the whole goal here. Stay in the game, stay consistent, find some freedom, find some joy in your strategies, okay? And know how long real results actually take. The only question is left, are you ready to start? If you want to know my personal story and exactly how I lost 30 pounds after kids without dieting or tracking, then watch this next video. I share my lowest moment that I had, my breakthrough, and what I finally did to make it all work for weight loss after 30. Click the link on the screen. I'll see you there.